Imagine reaching into your pocket. Change could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Today, we're diving deep into the top 3 incredible modern treasures: the 1976 bicentennial quarter dollar, the 2021 D crossing the Delaware state quarter dollar, and the 2022 P Maya Angelou state quarter dollar. Each of these coins carries not only a piece of American history. This isn't just any coin, this is the 1976 bicentennial quarter dollar, a coin that millions of Americans remember, but only a select few know about its ultra-rare era versions that can transform pocket change into a life-changing treasure. So stay with me until the end of this video, because we're going to uncover the history, the design secrets, the rare errors, and of course the jaw-dropping values of these quarters that could be hiding in your collection right now. The background. To understand why this coin is so special, let's travel back to the mid-1970s. America was preparing to celebrate its 200th birthday, the bicentennial, in 1976. The U.S. Mint wanted something extraordinary, something that would symbolize national pride. For the first time since 1776, quarters, half dollars, and dollars would carry special designs instead of their usual portraits. The bicentennial quarter was designed by Jack L. Ahr, who created the now iconic reverse featuring a colonial drummer boy with a torch of victory and 13 stars above his head. The silver-clad errors. These silver-clad error quarters can fetch $10,000 to $20,000, and in pristine condition much more. Double die obverse DDO. Collectors go wild for strong doubling, and depending on the condition, these coins can bring in $15,000 to $30,000, but the most dramatic ones can skyrocket beyond. Off-center strikes. Off-center, these quirky mistakes are highly collectible. A sharp off-center bicentennial quarter with clear details can bring $7,000 to $12,000. Wrong planchet errors. Planchet or even a foreign coin blank can be worth $25,000 to $40,000. The rarest wrong planchet strikes have been valued. Auction records that shocked collectors. Now, let's talk real numbers, because nothing gets collectors more excited than auction history. In 2019, a rare 1976 bicentennial quarter error struck on a silver planchet sold for over $67,000. Another, with dramatic doubling on the date, crossed the auction block for $77,000. But the biggest shock came when a perfect high-grade bicentennial quarter with a rare mint error sold for more than $86,000, proving these coins are not just historical keepsakes, they're treasure. These aren't rumors. These are actual sales that stunned the coin collecting community. How to tell if you have one? Alright, now here's where you lean in, because I'm going to tell you how to check your coins. Check the date. It must read 1776-1976. If it's a bicentennial, you're already on the right track. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass and check for doubling on the lettering, date, or drummer boy's drum. Weigh the coin. A normal copper-nickel quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours weighs closer to 5.75 grams or higher, you may have a silver-clad error. Inspect strike quality. Look at the drummer boy's drum lines. If they're razor sharp, your coin may qualify as a rare high-grade variety. Check for off-center strikes. Any visibly off-center strike is a big red flag. In a good. Yes, you heard that right. Some reports claim rare errors on the 2022 P Maya Angelou state quarter dollar. Now, I know what you're thinking, a quarter worth more than a brand new car. It sounds unbelievable, but stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which errors exist, which ones can actually bring massive value, and how to spot them in your own pocket change. The background. In 2022, the U.S. Mint launched the American Women Quarters Program, a groundbreaking series honoring trailblazing women in American history. The very first design chosen was none other than Maya Angelou, the legendary and author whose words inspired millions. This was history in the making. For the first time ever, the face of a black woman graced a U.S. circulating quarter. On the obverse, George Washington still stares proudly, but on the reverse, Angelou stands with arms lifted high, a bird in flight behind her, and rays of the sun streaking upward like beams of inspiration. Twig in the bird's beak error. High-grade uncirculated examples have been listed for $500, $1,000, or even more. The reverse cud blobs on the rim. Smaller cuds may bring $200 to $400. A big, bold cut in mint state, thousands of dollars. Grease strike-through errors. Minor strike-throughs can bring $200 to $500. More severe, dramatic strike-throughs where whole chunks of design vanish can push hundreds of dollars. Double die varieties DDO. But a true double die with rounded, distinct doubling is the real deal. Average examples, $2,000 to $1,000. Auction sales record and market value. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. The values. Let me be crystal clear. Not every Maya Angelou era quarter is worth 5 figures. In fact, most sell in the $20 $200 range, but here's where things get exciting. The record so far for a 2022 P Maya Angelou quarter isn't even an error. It was a perfect MS67 Plus example, which sold for a jaw-dropping $2,375. And that was just for condition alone. So imagine this: a major error, like a massive cud, twig gouge, or dramatic double die, graded high, certified, and showcased to hungry collectors. That's when the price potential explodes. That's when we start talking about $20,000, $28,000, maybe even $34,000 if lightning strikes. How to identify your coin. Now, how do you know if your quarter is special? Here's your checklist. Look at the bird. Is there a twig-like raised line near the beak? That's a die gouge error. Check the rim. Any big blobs or missing parts of the design? That's a cud. Inspect the raise and text. Look for doubling, rounded and clear. Search for weak spots. Missing details could be a grease strike through. Don't forget the obverse. Chips, warts, or doubling can appear there too, and remember, the better the condition, the bigger the value. Call to action. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Grab your change jar. Look closely at every 2022 P Maya Angelou quarter you can find. Check for twigs, cuds, doubling, and streak. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting modern treasures in American coin collecting, the 2021 D era crossing the Delaware State quarter dollar. This isn't just any quarter, it's one of the rarest, most valuable modern eras you could possibly find in circulation. Some collectors have already paid for the right example, so don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so rare, how to identify the key features. The historical. The 2021 crossing the Delaware quarter was a very special release by the U.S. Mint. For over a decade, Americans have been used to the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021, featuring 56 unique reverse designs celebrating national parks and historic sites. But in 2021, the Mint decided to do something different. They ended the America the Beautiful series and brought back a one-year-only design honoring General George Washington's famous 1776 crossing of the Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. Struck through errors. Objects like grease or debris got between the die and the coin, leaving unusual textures or missing details. Off-center strikes. Coins where the design is visibly shifted, with part of Washington's face or the Delaware scene cut off. Major misaligned dies. Coins where one side of the design doesn't line up with the other, making the coin look completely off. Auction sales price and valuable. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets exciting. A normal 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter, still worth 25 cents. A minor error, like a small die chip, maybe $50 to $200 to the right collector. A more dramatic die break or doubling, now you're looking at $1,000 to $5,000. But here's where the real treasure lies. Certain major error coins, with extreme doubling, large cuts, or spectacular strike-throughs, have been reported selling for $40,000, $55,000, and even as much as $63,000. Think about that. Finding one of these quarters in your pocket change is like hitting the jackpot. A single coin could change your financial situation in an instant. How to identify a rare era 2021 D quarter. So how do you know if your 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter is one of these treasures? Here's what to look for. Check the mint mark. Look just right of Washington's ponytail. If it has a D, it was minted in Denver, and those are where the biggest errors have been found. Look for doubling. Inspect the words under magnification. If the letters look shadowed or doubled, you may have a valuable double die. Examine Washington's face and hat. Raised blobs or cracks, die breaks, in this area are a key sign of value. Check the Delaware scene. Missing details, unusual textures, or even off-center designs can mean big money. Don't overlook the rim. Cuds and breaks along the coin's edge can make the coin extremely valuable. Collectors and coin grading services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and grade these errors.